What's going on, you guys? Happy Wellness Wednesday to you. It's your girl D here with a little bit of vitamin D for free. I today's video is going to be on how to regulate your blood sugar. So, if you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, or you have family members, friends, or people that you really care about who are recently diagnosed or you know they struggle with this, I want to talk to you, okay? So go ahead and get you a piece of paper. This is a learning opportunity because y'all know all I do, I don't watch TV, I study, and I think about what does my community need, where are they right now, and where can I do better at serving them when it comes to health, wellness, and nutrition. So let me say first, all of this information did not come out of my head. It is um, it is from a book called the Glucose Goddess Method by Jessie Inchauspe. I hope I say her name right. I probably did not. But she is a scientist. So the information that I share with you from this book is from research. It's not from speculation. It's from a control group that she actually did. And it is from research that she does. So I would tell everybody go follow her on Instagram, Glucose Goddess, and also grab this book too. If you need a link to the book, I can drop it. Just say book, and I'll put that in there. Um, this book is mainly a guide. It is less a book that you will read cover to cover. However, I like to read it as much as I can cover to cover. But if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic and you are trying to navigate this health thing, I highly recommend this book. Also, before you start any eating regimen or a strenuous workout regimen, go check in with your doctor. I'm going to always say that I am not a doctor, I am a trainer. Okay? So, it is a 4-week guide to cutting cravings, getting your energy back, and feeling amazing. A lot of us in the black community, because of the way that we ate and because of the way that we grew up, a lot of us, in my opinion, struggle with insulin resistance. We struggle with pre-diabetes. A lot of us directly struggle with diabetes in general. All right. We have a high percentage in the United States of people who struggle with diabetes. I think that it's almost 30%. When it comes to being overweight, 40% of Americans are overweight, and a little bit less than that are obese. Either way, it's almost 50% of the population. It's important for us to understand that. And so I always say, in order to get good answers, you got to ask good questions. And sometimes you have to see what things are doing to your body in multiple different types of people, and for me, you got to hear from a scientist and also see visually what food does to us. I've also found that in the black community, we don't take pre-diabetes serious enough. We don't take the warning signs serious enough. But the only time we want to get serious is when someone is ill or when we get our feelings hurt at the doctor. And so we need to get better as a community to say, all right, what do I need to do to get better? All right. So these 10 tips are going to help you get better. So get your paper out. If you want me to repeat any of these, I will. And like I said, this comes from the book, The Glucose Goddess Method. This is on page 20. Okay. Tag your friends, your family members, because this is some great tips. So these are 10 ways to reduce the blood sugar spike, which normally is what gets us into a tizzy. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number one, which is huge. Eat your foods in the right order. So fiber, then proteins and fats, then starches and sugar. So, what that looks like is like you eat your vegetables first. You eat your starchy vegetables first. So, I mean, not your starchy vegetables, your cruciferous vegetables first. So, maybe like your green leafy vegetables first, things like that. So, you would eat that first, and then you would eat your proteins. So, that would look like your meats, your fishes, your seafoods, etc. Then you would have your fats. So maybe that's like your avocados, maybe like your nuts. That's like a fat. and then you would eat your starches. So that would be like your macaroni and cheese, your rice, your noodles or whatever, and then your sugars. So it is beneficial to eat your desserts last. So I always think about the order. The order is very, very important, especially if you're eating out. The important thing I need you to know about this book, what I really love about how she explains everything, is that she acknowledges that we are still going to eat what we want to eat. We're still probably going to have the desserts. We're still going to have the alcohol. We're still going to have certain things that we're not supposed to have all the time. So, with these hacks, it helps you to navigate this, but still able to live your life. Okay? So, that's number one, eat your foods in order. Number two, add a veggie starter to one meal a day. So earlier, a couple weeks ago, I was talking about eating a salad. Having that salad. So when you're out to eat and they say, what do you want as your salad? I mean, as a starter, super salad, you would say your salad and you would eat that first. So eating that first will basically be a buffer to what you would eat in your entree. So that's number two, have a veggie starter to one meal a day. So maybe that is having your salad, or maybe at night, that is having your green beans first in your meal. So that's just some ideas. Number three is stop counting calories. All right. If you eat your food in order and you make sure that you have your protein, y'all know I always talk about protein. If you have at least half your body weight in grams of protein per day, and that's your priority, in general, you're not going to really overeat in your calories. Okay. Most Americans undereat in their protein, but we overeat in our calories. We have a low nutrient dense diet, but we have a high calorie diet, which generally makes us malnourished. That's how we end up obese and overweight. Okay, so stop counting calories. Number four, this one is going to shake a lot of y'all up, but it is have a savory breakfast. This is big because a lot of us have been taught to start our breakfast with something sweet. We have a sweet cereal, or we have a sweet parfait, or we have a sweet bread, or we have a sweet oatmeal, or something like that. You want to have a savory meal. And in this book, it gives you ideas of what a savory meal is. So I will read that to you. I got to train in a little bit. But an example of a savory breakfast would be an omelet with like the actual eggs in there. A savory breakfast would be like an avocado toast on sourdough. That would be a savory breakfast. Also, understanding that the word breakfast is just that you are breaking your fast. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, especially if you work off hours, it's just breaking your fast. The food industry and the snack industry made you think that certain foods are breakfast foods. No foods are breakfast foods. All breakfast foods, all foods can break your fast. Okay? So you want to look forward to having a savory breakfast. Another idea of a savory breakfast could be a vegetable soup that you made. It's an idea of a savory breakfast. A savory breakfast could be like fajita meat and vegetables with, I don't know, with some egg whites. So that's an idea as well. So that's number four. Number five, that's important to understand when it comes to regulating your blood sugar, is that all sugar does the same thing to your body. Whether it's natural sugar, whether it's artificial sugar, it all spikes. So being mindful of that and not necessarily justifying like, oh, I have honey. If you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, saying, oh, I have honey, that's it's natural sugar, it's not going to spike me as much. It's going to spike you. It's going to spike you like a pineapple, okay? Maybe a little bit less because the pineapple has fiber in it. However, it will still spike. So remembering that. Next, pick dessert over a sweet snack. What does that mean? So sometimes we want to snack, like one of my thing, I wanted this Dubai chocolate so bad, okay? It is better for me to eat my meal and then have that chocolate as a dessert than to have it as a sweet snack. Also, let's just talk about fruit in general. because I've had clients who were super diabetic. They messed around and had a piece of pineapple, or they had a half of a pink lady apple. It shot their blood sugar up so high that they were like waiting for it to come down. Okay. Um, Using something sweet as a dessert instead of a snack is very, very key. Next is a big one, having 1 tablespoon of vinegar a day before the meal that will spike your blood sugar the most. So let's just hypothetically say you love to have Chinese at lunch, and that is your high calorie and high carb meal. For a lot of you guys, lunch is the meal that whoops your tail. Your employer will bring you lunch. The farm techs will bring you lunch. You and your coworkers, y'all will go get lunch. In order to slow the glucose spike, which will slow your cravings, which will keep you from getting the itis, okay? Getting sleepy afterwards, having 1 teaspoon or tablespoon of vinegar before that meal. So you just put it in some water, or you might add it to um, a tea that you might have, but you can just put it in 8 to 10 ounces of water. Just put it in there and drink it. It'll slow the glucose spike. Okay? This is a big one. You know I'm an advocate for it because I'm in fitness. Is after you eat, move. If you're diabetic, after you eat, move. If you're pre-diabetic, after you eat, move. If you have children that are notorious for going to sleep after they eat, move. This is especially important when we are in our Thanksgiving modes, or like when we're in Mardi Gras, or we're in our birthday parties, or family reunions where we're eating. We're going into cookout season. So it's great if you get your plate, you get your hamburger, hot dog, or whatever. When you get that, go move around, go walk, talk to people, whatever. If you are cooking and you know you have a meal that has high carbs, go wash the dishes, go clean the kitchen. That's a part of moving, and that will help slow the glucose spike. Okay? Next, if you're gonna have a snack, go savory. And I talked about that before. Instead of just having grapes by themselves, maybe you would have some nuts, right? That is a switch over from having a sweet snack to a savory snack. This is a big deal to my family who's diabetic or pre-diabetic, choosing a savory snack over a sweet snack. And this is the last one that I talked about earlier this week, is put some clothes on your carbs. Okay, so avoid eating starchy and sweet foods on their own. Putting clothes on them. The protein, the fat, the fiber slows down the glucose absorption. For example, have Greek yogurt with your brownie, or have ham with your bread. Okay? So if you were to have, let's just say, spaghetti, or you were to have some type of pasta, having a protein with that pasta is what you want to do. You don't want to just have it plain. I know you want macaroni and cheese, but if you have macaroni and cheese, have a little piece of steak with it because you want to put clothes on them. Always remember that. Put clothes on them. So if you're transitioning and you're like, I'm getting my mind right to eat better, I'm getting my mind right to get off of this medication. I don't want to be on metformin anymore. I want my medication to go slower. These tips can help you do that. Okay? So again, this book comes from the Glucose Goddess Method, and the cool thing about this book is that it's a 4-week program where she introduces not all of the hacks, but one hack at a time. And by the time you get to the 4th week, you have 4 hacks, and it should improve your blood sugar, it should improve your mood, it should improve your sleep, it should improve your weight, etc. Okay? So grab this book if it interests you. I really, really love it. Has really cool. It really has really cool recipes in it. Tea recipes, fire cider recipes, food recipes in here. Um, da, 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 Main dishes that you can make at home. Different things like that, just to diversify your meals, diversify what you eat. It's even a lemon ricotta cheesecake recipe in here. So go follow her, Glucose Goddess, on Instagram, and I'm gonna show you one more thing that is I think, very useful on her Instagram is when she does the visuals of what certain things do to your body. So, what a cookie does to your body, what an apple does to your body, um, etc. So, I'm going to give you an example that um, is huge. Okay. So, this is an example of, let me turn this off so you can see. So as we get into the summer months and people eating salads and stuff like that, it's important to be mindful of like the dried fruit that we normally get, right? So when you dry a fruit, because the water content goes down, the sugar content goes up, okay? So this is just an example of what eating dried cranberries do versus what eating grapes do, okay? Let me do this again. Um, so it's important. This is what eating cranberries does to your blood sugar, dried cranberries versus grapes. The same amount, the same weight of them. Um, and you see what it does, how high it goes, and then how it drops you back down. This is why it's important for people to understand that just because the food industry tells you that a food is healthy or you think it's healthy, it does not always serve your personal wellness goals. Okay? And that's dried fruit across the board. So it's like if you're trying to regulate your sugar intake, um, you know, be mindful of stuff like that. I'm going to show you another example of when you eat your pickled vegetables, when I talked about that earlier, versus not eating your pickled vegetables. So this is an example of if you eat pasta by itself, how it spikes your blood sugar and then levels off, versus if you eat pickles before your pasta, or you take a shot of vinegar, you drink that with some water, and you eat the pasta. You see what happens here. A lot of us have trouble losing weight because we constantly are spiking our blood sugar. A lot of us have insulin resistance. A lot of your kids can't lose weight because constantly they're eating high sugar foods or high carb foods all the time. They're not eating any protein or putting clothes in their carbs. Okay? And so it's very, very important to say, like, am I doing my part? Okay? This is another example of maybe a glucose spike that you don't think about if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or you're on your health journey and you want to do better. It's to understand that glucose spikes don't always come from food either, or always come from what you drink. They come from stress too. This is why I always say make sure you have a solid sleep routine or you do meditation, etc. This is what happens on a stressful meeting, how it can spike your blood sugar, okay? And a regular meeting, how it doesn't spike your blood sugar. Let's get into it. Some of us live in a constant state of stress, or we work in a constant state of stress, okay? This is the difference. Also, sometimes these are the people that you talk to early in the morning. You start your day off, you haven't eaten anything, and your favorite person calls you, okay? Your favorite person calls you and they talk mess and it already spikes your blood sugar. Versus if you talk to somebody who is positive, who makes your day, that doesn't stress you out, and it levels out your blood sugar. So, can you imagine going to a stressful meeting, and in that stressful meeting, they want to feed you, okay? And so you get this blood sugar spike, and then you eat something crazy that spikes you even more. Now you're looking cross-eyed and crazy, okay? So I just wanted to share some of those things. Oh, this one I'm gonna share one more. Let's just say you like to eat Mexican. I love eating Mexican. This is the value of eating guac with your putting clothes on your food, eating guac with your chips instead of just plain tortilla chips. This is the difference of what it does. Eating a lot of tortilla chips spikes you. And then if you eat guacamole with your tortilla chips. So even if you're on this journey and you're like, I want to enjoy my life, I want to go hang out, I want to do these things, being mindful of stuff like when I go out to eat Mexican, I put clothes on my carbs. When I go eat pho, I make sure I eat pickled cabbage before I eat my pho. You can ask Kay. That's the first thing I do. I eat my pickled cabbage because everything matters, especially at my big age. Okay? So I got to go get ready for training, and I just wanted to share those things with you. Hey, Laverne, I wanted to share those things with you because um, I'm finding that a lot of us, we just, we can do better. And sometimes it is ignorance. We just don't have the information. And I want to make sure I do my part to give you some credible information. Once again, this is not my idea. This comes from the Glucose Goddess Method. It is a fantastic book. If you or a loved one um, are struggling with diabetes or prediabetes, if you're insulin resistant, if you're having trouble with sleep, cravings, weight loss, premenopause, menopause, if you're having trouble with your stomach weight, back fat, etc., this is a fantastic book. Okay, so I'll continue to give you little nuggets out of this book as I come across them, and we can have open dialogue. And I understand like this may not be a interesting topic to you guys, but I think that is valuable to the community. All right, have a blessed day, and I will see you later. That is your Vitamin D for free.